Hello everyone, it's Finance Eddie, and today there's big changes in the charts. I want to show you the patterns that are breaking out. I want to prepare you guys for the weekend, and we're going to talk about why I sold 33% of my holding portfolio in XRP. So let's get right into it. We're going to talk about Cardano, Bitcoin, XRP, and of course, Ethereum. Let's start with the XRP chart because I'm sure you guys are curious why I've sold. Well, if you look at this pattern here and you ignore this really big downtrend, well, we had a W pattern breakout around here and we went up for the test, right? Let me draw a line here. We went up for the breakout. We came back down, and then we had a volume confirmed breakout above the previous resistance point, right? You see the volume down here. Well, at this point, I saw that the price target was around here at 0.567, and I've been looking to trim back my XRP holdings for a while, seeing as they had slowly become the biggest one in my portfolio thanks to a bunch of gains in the past few days, and I actually wanted to reallocate some of this back into Ethereum, on which I was underweight for a very, very long time, and I was waiting for the right moment to do that, and it does seem that now is the right moment to do that, because if we look at the past performance of XRP, well, we see that it has a tendency to just spike up, drop back down. If we go back even further, it spikes up, it drops down, and then, it slowly comes back up. Then it spikes down again. It slowly comes back up. So I'm kind of betting on that right now, and I just want to take advantage of the pumps when I see them and make sure that I take some chips off the table for XRP because it does seem to be the pumpiest coin that I have right now, and then re-enter, of course, when it comes back lower to around the 0.50% mark actually. And if we look at here, where I expect another buying zone to be, well, here I have the volume profiles on the side. It means that at these prices there's very big buying volume, and at these prices there's also very big buying volume, and as we can see, those correspond to about the 0.57 to 0.56-ish mark for these two up here for the upper bound, which is where we just hit and we're now bouncing lower from. And I expect there to be significant resistance around this band right here, which is between the 0.51 and the 0.52 band, at which point I would consider re-entering XRP with this 33% of my holding portfolio that I just sold off. And now remember, I'm only selling it because I do want to allocate more of my portfolio towards Ethereum, and let's move to Ethereum so that I can show you why. Well, for a long time now, Ethereum has been below its all-time high of around 2,000 US dollars, which, if we assume we're going back there, would give me a chance for a 30% rise still within this bull cycle. And I do think that Ethereum has been punished largely because of Cardano's success lately. And if we look here on the charts, well, it does seem that we are going to enter quite a lot of resistance around this buying area here, around the 1,690 to 1,640 US dollar mark is where we're going to find a lot of resistance. And if we do manage to pass that, I do think we're going all the way up to about the 1780 to around the 1800 mark. However, let's look at what the chart is telling us, and let me hide these volume profiles. As we see in this area of the chart, Ethereum has been trying to solidify this head and shoulders pattern, and recently we did finally get a breakout towards the bottom, which I already talked about in my previous video, but right now, we still don't really have another pattern to base anything off of, and as always, we came very close to the price target, and we're always taking our profits before the end of the price target. So for whoever took this trade, congratulations. Personally, I'm not shorting in a bull cycle. I do think that the probability of success is just too low for me to want to engage in any trades. Now, if you really make me draw something here, well, I can draw for you a bit of a rising wedge, which actually does have quite a few touch points and did start on the 24th of March. So this is now an almost 48-hour pattern, which is, that's actually not bad. So let's have a look here and go a little bit deeper. Well, usually this has a bearish bias, but I would say that right now it's pretty unsure what this is going to do at the moment. But let's get some targets here. Well, if we take it from the bottom of the pattern to the top, and assuming we're going to break out around here, well, we'll either go to the 1730 mark for Ethereum or on the 1,526 mark for Ethereum. And pretty much no matter what, I'll probably enter either if we're breaking towards the downside or towards the upside with this 33% that I sold from XRP. However, look guys, this is a pretty small move in the grand scheme of things. Oh, actually, it's pretty big. It's 6% move. That's actually quite significant. I thought it was like 2% or something like that. And if we move this line to the top, well, what does that give us? Well, now I'm way more excited. All right, let's go. This is towards the top. It would be about a 5% move. As always, guys, we wait for this to break out, retest, go above the previous rejection point, and that's the time where we would enter the trade. But this could actually be quite a juicy trade, and Ethereum is due for a leg up. It's been underperforming for a long time, and this is mostly just because of increased interest in Cardano, but I do think there's more than enough space for both of them to coexist, right? As we have Google, Facebook, and Apple all coexisting at the same time with pretty similar business models. All right, you can argue that they're quite different, but to be honest, they're all in the tech world. They're all regarding smartphones, internet, hardware. It's a mix of that. So I do think that that's kind of what we're going to see with Ethereum and Cardano. We're going to see two slightly different approaches to the same market. And I do think that they can both jointly be successful. So if we then move on to Cardano, what we see here is I had a lot of stuff on the charts for you guys. So if you didn't see this, make sure you subscribe so that I'm giving you the updates in the moment that they are happening. And what we had here on this orange line was actually the Head and Shoulders breakout that I was expecting, but we never really got, because we went down, we broke up through the Head and Shoulders resistance line, and I was hoping that here we would actually start our pump up, but it didn't manifest, and now it was too far to the right anymore, and this Head and Shoulders pattern was invalidated. But what I gave you guys next was this W pattern, which I was hoping would also break towards the top, but didn't, and then we settled on this wedge that we see here. And the price target for this wedge was right here. And as you can see, we blew past it because this price target was 1.22. And as you can see here, guys, I'm always telling you, wait for the volume, wait for the volume. Well, what does this look like? Well, if you ask me, that looks like a significant amount of volume that came in here. So if we do see this come all the way back down, which I don't think. I think this pattern is over now. I think we need to wait for the next pattern here, just like we're waiting a little bit with Ethereum. We do have this little rising wedge here, but I do think we're mostly waiting for a new pattern to fold on the weekly terms or something like that. However, for Cardano, we had this big jump up. To whoever was paying attention to this, congratulations on the trade. Congratulations as well to anybody who is holding Cardano. I have no plans to sell or do anything with Cardano in the very short term, nor in the long term. I think just with Ethereum, this is a very long-term play, and within the next 5-10 years, I think a 10x is probably somewhere on the lower estimate of what you can expect to have with the holding portfolio. And guys, I'm showing you this in the charts, but for most of the time, I'm actually not taking 80% of these trades because I'm waiting for the absolute perfect trade, because even the perfect trade has a tendency to go wrong. So most of your portfolio should be in a holding portfolio, in which case you should just go and sign up for something like Binance or Coinbase or Kraken, link down below. However, if you do want to trade and you are an experienced trader and you recognize that this is not financial advice and you should do your own research, then feel free to please use my Bybit link down below as well, and you can get a bunch of money for free if you do that. So let's move on then to the last one that we have on the list, and our favorite, Bitcoin. So guys, I've been saving Bitcoin for last because actually there isn't a big update on this. Previously, we were talking about this M pattern which was forming, and we were talking about this giant rising wedge which started all the way back in around December. If we look then at the bottom trend line, you see here that this started around December 16th, which is ages, especially in the crypto world. And so if this were to break down this big orange wedge, well, it would take us all the way back to $17,000. I do think that there's less than a 5% chance of that happening. However, this M pattern is one that we do need to be concerned about. We broke down and we are now currently retesting it. And if we do end up breaking back down and we close below this point and we have volume coming in, which I don't know if we have volume coming in. It does not look like we really have volume coming in. I would like to see a candlestick somewhere at least around this height. in order to say volume has come in. And at that moment, well, that's the moment to take this short towards the downside. As I said, I'm not shorting Bitcoin in a bull market. However, if you do want to, well, that's a juicy still 11-12% price move if you wait for all the signals. If you are willing to take a little bit more risk, well, that would be about a 16.5% price move at a 5x leverage. That's pretty much 100%. So you can double your money with this trade. However, guys, like I said, and I'll say it again, I'm not shorting within a bull market because I do still think that because the fundamentals are so strong, I'm waiting for this fake out to manifest and for us to come back within this rising wedge to really give us a proper breakout towards the upside or the downside. And guys, if we break out towards the upside, well, we would be going to around 82,000 US dollars. You can just trust me on that. Let me show you on the charts. For an upwards price target, we would take then approximately like this from the top of the pattern to the bottom of the pattern. And if we put that here, well, yes, that would be bringing us, well, now it's a bit more bullish, of course, right? Because back then I was going around here somewhere hoping for a breakout around this point. But you know, we would be seeing something between, for example, 83,000 if we break out here, all the way up to approximately, what does that give us? 88,000 around there. So guys, if you do actually want a more specific price point, well, we always have the Fibonacci codes to fall back on. So actually, let me just remove a bunch of stuff on the charts here and let's bring up the Fibonacci's. So if we do a Fibonacci retracement and we take it from the swing high to the swing low down here, it's not going to be perfect. However, let's see what this gives us between the 82 and the 85% range. Well, we do see here the 2.618 level, which would be at around 80,220 US dollars. So that's not quite high enough, but I would be eyeing maybe this level here, this 3 times Fibonacci level, which would be absolutely crazy, guys, absolutely crazy if we do end up breaking up on the wedge. And that would be then my new bull target for this bull cycle actually. And if we do hit this, it would be absolutely crazy, but that is what the chart would be telling us if we do break significantly towards the upside of this wedge, which would definitely give us new highs day after day after day for a couple of weeks. That said, on the shorter term, well, I don't really think it's fair to take an M pattern towards the top, but if we did have to, well, most likely we would hit the new all-time high again, and we would be at around 62,000-ish US dollars. That's where we would probably hit again if we were to break out and go back up during the weekend. So this is the very short-term price target, and if we do break below and we confirm this M pattern, right now we're retesting it. If volume comes in and we close below here, well, then unfortunately we would probably be seeing the 44,000 US dollar level. I do still think that even though the chart is becoming very, very bearish, I do think that this is still an unlikely scenario. And let me draw you one more pattern that we've seen in the charts recently, and that would look more or less like this if we keep this as the bottom of this trend. And I draw this new trend line connecting these 3 tops. Well, we do have here a new wedge pattern forming, and if this were to break towards the upside or the downside, let me give you those price targets too to prepare for the weekend. What we had here was hopefully a fake out and not a double confirmation, because if this really does confirm towards the downside, we then have this M pattern as well as this wedge pattern, which gives us then quite a lot of worry and confluence towards the downside, and this would bring us to 46,000 US dollars towards the downside, or hopefully we do break up, and once again this would hit us to the new all-time high. This would take us back to the previous all-time high around 62,000 US dollars, which would be absolutely great because this puts us back in the wedge, which would probably take us higher in the medium term and in the long term, which for crypto, long term, it's funny, but long term is then 2 to 3 months. We would probably be hitting at least that 80,000 mark that I was talking about a few minutes ago. If you got smarter with this video and you enjoyed me telling you all these price targets, preparing you for the weekend, and you guys think that this is valuable and YouTube should send this to more people, please hit that like button and send it out to more people. And if you guys want these updates in the moment that I'm uploading them, make sure you hit subscribe and hit the bell icon so that you guys don't miss out on any of these opportunities. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!